Hi guys, Jimbo here, the driving test guy in New South Wales, helping you pass your New South Wales P1 driving test first go, hopefully. Okay, now today's topic is part 2 of traffic lights. I'm going to be looking at left turn decision. But before we start that, success stories. Now I'm getting so many, it's going to take up half the video. So what I might do is, once I read the chapter on YouTube, I might put a marker where the actual content starts for the videos, so you can just go through all the stuff at the beginning. And I might put a link down in the description also, where you can just click it if you just want to go straight to the content. But oh man, got so many here, so many successes. Hasnain Hassani says, I had my test which passed easily after watching your videos. They were too helpful to me. I want to say thank you. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, mate. Mitzi, hey Jimbo, pass first go, Queen Bian. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mitzi. Anthony Al-Duahi. Had my test this morning, passed first time. Thanks for the help. But he went to Silverwater. Fantastic, Anthony. Lucinda Jade, I passed my test yesterday. Thank you so much for your help. Lucinda went to Corrimal. Sam Rezai, I passed my test first go today. Gregory Hills, thanks for all the tips. Thank you, Sam. Fantastic. Alizy says, passed my test. Thank you so much for the tips. Alizy went to botany. Arjun writes, I passed my test today first go. Thank you so much for your help. He went to Silverwater. Wells Press, hi Jimbo, thank you for your video. I did pass my driving test yesterday. It was my second time doing the test, and after watching your video, I knew and was confident, took the test, passed my test today. Fantastic, Wells. And Wells went to Nambucca. And Amelia Chen, Amelia says, passed my test first go, Castle Hill. Fantastic. She says, your videos help so much. You're a brilliant teacher. Thank you, Amelia. Excellent. Drew Star passed today. Thank you so much for the help, mate. Thank you. If I didn't mention your name just now, I'll mention your name in the next video. Now, a bit of a sad story. Poor Rowan was out on his test, doing everything right, and someone rams him up the back. Bang! Far out. They had to terminate the test. That was a bit of bad luck, Rowan, but look, you're going to smash it next time. Book it in again, and then knock it over and get your license. Okay. Fantastic, guys. Okay, let's get down to business. Traffic lights. Now we're looking at left turn decision. Now, when I'm out on lessons again, I find we have to deal with, at lights, turning left. It's just not as simple as it's green, you go. There's actually 2 main categories of left turn with lights that I will go through, and each have their subcategories. Okay? So basically the first one's going to be a standard left turn where you're actually in the intersection at the lights and you got the light pattern tell you when to go. You can see in the video now. And there'll be the other version, which is, I'm going to call left turn slip lane, where you slip around to the left and basically you can turn left anytime with care. Now each of them have subcategories, so I'm going to go through each. Okay, so first of all, just some terminologies I'm going to use. You can see on the screen there, I'm going to call the arrow. So in that picture there's a green arrow, or it could be yellow arrow or red arrow. And you can see where it's red, I'm going to call that the red circle, or that could be yellow circle or green circle. Okay, so we are doing a standard left turn at traffic lights, and if we have either of those 2 patterns, red arrow, red circle, or just red circle, we are all stopped. In this example, we have red arrow, red circle. Now, if we have any of these green light patterns, green arrow, green circle on its own, or green arrow, red circle, we are good to turn left. In the example, we have green arrow, green circle. Okay, guys, we're just now going to have a look at a couple of scenarios at this particular type of left turn that often cause fail items on the driving test. And it's always when you are the first car, because you have to do all the thinking. Okay, in this example, we're first up and we've got a red arrow, red circle traffic light pattern. Now, I need you to notice a pedestrian. Now, they've pressed the pedestrian button. So what that means is, when you get the green circle to go, the red arrow is actually going to stay on for the pedestrian crossing. And you'll see now when it changes. Now, at that point, you can be a bit trigger happy and start going because you're nervous. Everyone else is going, but you need to notice the red arrow's on. Now, when the red arrow is off and that pedestrian's out the way, like now, we head check and then we go. Now, if you tried to go then, when that red arrow was on and it was green, all the other guys are going and you're trigger happy and you tried to go, you're out. F1 failed, disobeyed a road signal. Or, most probably, the examiner stops the car, okay, and F6, you're out anyway. Now, we're going to look at another common fail item, and it's turning left at lights. Now, what's happened this time again is the student's first up, and it's gone red circle, and they've sort of relaxed, looking over there, and while the red circle's on, the green arrow pops up, but the student just doesn't notice.
Now you can see that we've got the red circle coming up, and we're stopping. Now, if you look at the light pattern, within a few seconds, the green arrow pops up straight away. Now you need to notice that, and head check, and go.
Okay, so if you're on your test, and you're the first car, it's red, and you've stopped, and you don't notice the green arrows coming up, you might be looking over there. Now, after a while, if you don't notice, the examiner's going to point it out to you and say, look, the green arrow's on. Now, at that point, they've had to help you and your driving test is over. I highly recommend you keep watching that light pattern all the time. It's always changing. Okay, so the next scenario I want to look at when turning left at lights on the New South Wales driving test is when you have this sign come up. Left turn permitted on red after stopping. Now, this sign allows you to make a left turn even though your light's red. There's very few of these around, so you need to look out for them. But really what the main fail item is, it's very similar to the stop sign. The student doesn't actually stop properly. You've got to stop at the first line, bounce it, and then you can push in. Now with these ones, before you go around on the red, not only do you give way to the right, but you have to look diagonally across the road. No one that's oncoming going to turn in front of you. You've got to give way to everybody before they'll allow you to make a left turn on red. Okay, here's an example.
Okay, so I'm coming up to the light is red circle and the sign says left turn on red permitted after stopping. I stop at the first line with a bounce, and now I can push over that line to see better. I check to the right, I want all lanes clear. I also check diagonally across the road, the oncoming aren't turning in front of me, and if it's all safe, I make the turn.
Okay viewers, did you notice next to the left turn on red permitted after stopping sign, there was another sign, a stop sign with 3 black dots. Now, sometimes this sign, the stop sign gets confused with the left turn on red. They are completely different things. The stop sign with the 3 black dots only means that if the power's off and those lights aren't working, then that becomes a big stop sign cross street. And you would be on the stop sign, bounce, and then you would do your normal rules with cross streets, which we've covered in a previous video. So if the power's off and you roll over that first line with that stop sign with the black dots, you're out. You've just run the stop sign. But yeah, don't get that sign confused with left turn on red permitted after stopping. They are completely 2 different things. Okay viewers, so that completes the first half of this video. We've been looking at the left turn scenarios at lights within the intersection. Now in part 2 of this video, we're going to look at the second main category of left turns, when you're separate and you're in a slip lane and you can turn left anytime with care. Now there are 2 versions of these. There's the older version which seemed to wrap around a fair way and you actually use left signal in, then a right signal, and you kind of merge in with the traffic. And then the newer ones don't wrap much, because I think they found with those wraparound ones there was a lot of front to rear collisions. So as you're wrapping around, while you're looking over your shoulder for the traffic you need to merge in, there might have someone in front of you might have stopped and you didn't notice, and you're going that way, looking that way, and you smack at the back. So you find a lot of the new ones just bend a bit and they're just straight, and it's in essence a left turn you're doing. There's no merging, it's a left turn. Now all these left turn slip lanes, all of them, they all have crossings in them. And that just adds to that little extra thing that can go wrong when you don't notice someone's walking. I'll address the crossing when we look at each one. So let's look at the first one, the old version, the wraparound one.
Okay, so we head into the slip lane. I've got my left signal on. The crossing is clear. Now as I bend around, I'm going to have to start looking at the right. The guys on the right are actually stopping at the lights, which makes it safe for me. So I proceed down the slip lane, right signal, check my shoulder. It's safe to move in. I've got to change lanes again, check my shoulder a second time, change lanes, and I continue on.
So in that first type of left turn slip lane, you see how we had the wrap around, left signal in, went basically parallel to the road with a right signal and had to merge in with the traffic. I was lucky on that one. The guys on the right actually had a red light, which made it actually pretty easy. Now merging is a video on itself. I will cover merging in a different video. Now the second type of left turn slip lane is the modern type. They don't wrap around much. They just basically go to the left a bit and straight up. Now there are two versions of these. It gets down to the crossing. The first type have just a zebra crossing, and the new modern ones, like they seem to be building in new estates and that, the crossing is controlled with lights.
Okay, we're turning left at the left turn slip lane. Up ahead is a standard zebra crossing. Check to see that no one's walking. If we do not give way to these pedestrians, F2 fail. If there's already a car on the other side of the crossing, wait on this side so we don't block the crossing. We move up, we give way right, and we give way diagonal. Currently there are cars coming diagonally. You can see those white cars? We need to give way to everybody before we complete this turn. When it's safe, we turn with the same left signal.
Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is very similar to that one, but the difference is the crossing is controlled by lights.
Okay, so we're turning left at the slip lane, left signal on. Now if you look ahead, the crossing is controlled by lights. Now you see that line there, that first white line? If the crossing lights are lit up red, we'll stop at that line. But they're not, they're blacked out, so we're just gonna roll through the crossing up to the end and give way right and diagonal. So right is clear, diagonal's clear, we're good to go, complete the turn with the same left signal.
Okay viewers, so we're pretty much done, but just a few miscellaneous things. First of all, pedestrians always have right of way. Even though they might have like a flashing walkie thing flashing, like you can see that up on the screen there, if it's flashing red for them, they might still walk anyway. You've always got to look out for pedestrians. Okay, so the second thing is, if you're turning left at the lights, and you've got a green, and the other guy on the other side's allowed to turn right in front of you, you've got priority over him. I mean, watch in case he jumps on you, but you go first. So in the diagram, you can see car A goes first over car B. But if you're in the left turn slip lane, turning left, car A has to give way to car B. So make sure that you get your head around that. Okay guys, that's a wrap with Traffic Lights Part 2. Man, that was a marathon, that one. That was a big job that. We looked at two main categories of turning left. The first one was turning left within the intersection, and the second category was turning left at the slip lane and all the variants. Okay, so that's done. I'll be doing Part 3 this week coming up, and we'll look at the right turn at traffic light decision. And guys, if you're out there and you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe button. Press the notification button if you are still getting your Ps. If you've already got your Ps, please stay subscribed. Just turn notifications off. And press the like button. And as always, stay safe.